The propagation of the gospel. 12. First epistle to the Corinthians continued. I think this could have been done in one program instead of 3. And had I realized at the time, I might have had program. Was it 3 programs? Yeah, I think it was 10 through 12. But chapters 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. What is the subject of the 5th division? What are some of the directions concerning the conduct of women in religious assemblies? 9, 2 through 16. Was there any condition of the times and the places which rendered these directions more applicable than to modern society? What great religious ordinance does the writer next speak of? Verse 17 through 34. What abuses had crept into this solemn service? What scene does he describe? 23 through 25. The object of this ordinance. Verse 26. What dreadful crime is committed by participating unworthy in this? Verse 27 and 29. Hence the Catholic wait of like up to a year for not taking the sacrament, or some people, I guess, back in the day may have even had to wait longer than that. The bread and the water and the thing. And I think even watching the whole service, what difference is there between partaking unworthy and being unworthy to partake? What is said concerning the diversity of ability among men and among Christians? 12, 1 through 10. Is this opposed to unity? Wherein does the latter consist? 10 and 11 and 13. How is this illustrated? 12, 14 through 26. The application, verses 27 through 31. What is the subject of chapter 13? How does the writer compare it with other virtues? 1 through 3. How many distinct characteristics does he give of charity or love? Good manners, really. Agape, yeah, but it's closer to the Arabic word adab, in that both of them it's brotherliness. It is a word for love, but it's not. Love is patient. Yeah, that's. How does it differ from certain special gifts or abilities? Verse 8 through 12. In what respect is it great? Is it greater than faith and hope? Verse 13. To what spiritual gift does the apostle give the preeminence? 14:1. What modern vocation was this similar or equivalent? See 1:17, 21, 23, and more. Which verses are they not listing? What special gift does he speak of at length? And what restrictions does he lay upon it? Verse 2 through 28 of 13, right? What are some of these regulations? What directions concerning prophesying, preaching, or exhortation? 29 through 33. What directions concerning the speaking of women? 34 and 35. Is this direction of universal and perpetual application, or only designed for that time and place? The final comprehensive charge. 1 Corinthians 11, 4 through 7 is what I'm thinking of, but that's not what we're looking at, is it? What heresy has been disseminated by certain persons at Corinthians as well as elsewhere? 15:12. What proofs of Christ's resurrection were common to the preaching of all the apostles? 3 through 7. What additional evidence did Paul have? Verse 8. The argument from Christ's resurrection to that of men generally. 13 through 23. What consequences would come to Christianity and Christians if this doctrine were false? Verse 17. 19, 30 through 32. What cavilling questions was sometimes asked. Verse 35. What retaliation is the resurrected body to have to the present body? What relation? Okay. Or sometimes retaliation, right? 36 through 38, 42 through 50. Some of these don't, it was like, well, we're not being punished, so that proves we're right. Well, maybe not in the open way that's, but I'd have to look at those verses to respond more accurately, because I don't quite remember at the moment. What general and awful event is portrayed? Verse 51 and 52, the nature of this change. 53 and 54, the triumphant conclusion. 55 through 58, what directions concerning benevolent collections are given. 16:2, for what purpose were these taken, and what was to be done with them. 3:4, what is indicated in his future movements. Verse 5 through 9, whom will he send in the meantime? Verse 10, of what special friends does the apostle make particular mention? 15 through 18, the final salutation and benediction. 21 through 24.